All right, so let's look at a new topic here. So in this case, we're talking about Descartes' rule of signs. And with Descartes' rule of signs, we're interested in the sign changes of the polynomial. Okay, so we're basically counting how many times does it go from subtraction to to addition, or negative to positive, positive to negative, as we go left to right looking at the polynomial itself, the terms of the polynomial. So Descartes' rule of signs works like this. Now I don't have the whole thing written down, and the bottom kind of got cut off, but I'm going to explain it to you because number 1 and number 2 are very similar. One deals with positive real roots, number 2 deals with negative real roots. So, but they're very similar in how you determine the number of negative and positive roots. Okay. So it says, let f of x be a polynomial with real coefficients. So again, we're looking at real coefficients and a non-zero constant term. Okay. Then, 1, the number of positive real roots is either going to be what? It's either going to be the same as the number of the sign changes in f of x, right? So you start by counting all the sign changes of f of x, okay? Then, or it will be less than the number of sign changes in f of x by a positive even integer. So let me stop here because sometimes that gets a little confusing. Let me explain what this means. Let's say I have a polynomial with real coefficients, okay? First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to count the number of sign changes, right? So let's say I'm looking for, okay, how many times does it switch from positive to negative, or negative to positive, or addition to subtraction to addition, right? How many times does it do that? And let's say I come up with the number 3, right? So let's say 3, it changes signs 3 times, okay? So what that tells me is that there are either 3 positive real roots or 1 positive real root, because I'm going to reduce it by 2 positive by an even integer, right? So by a positive even integer. So that's 2, 4. So basically I'm going to keep subtracting 2 until I get to something that I can't subtract, or 0, right? So in this case here, I had 3 sign changes, which means I will either have 3 real roots or 1 real root. That's it. Okay. Now let's go back to number 2. Now number 2 is all about negative real roots. Now the only difference between 1 and 2 is that for negative real roots, you're not looking at the sign changes in f of x. You're now looking at the sign changes of f of negative x. And you do the same thing. So what you do is you plug in negative x and look at the resulting polynomial, count the sign changes in f of negative x, and then do the same thing. So again, it's going to be the number of negative real roots will either be equal to the number of sign changes, or it's going to be less than that by some positive even integer. Okay? So again, we'll do examples, but hopefully that makes sense.